Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Thursday, November 21st, 2019. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. Information technology is recognized worldwide as an important tool to boost productivity in many sectors, and several persons in the fisheries sector, including fishermen, have been trained to use technology to be more effective at the trade and to ensure their survival at sea. This through a two-day training exercise hosted by the Caribbean ICT Research Program under the Climate Change Adaptation Project in the Eastern Caribbean fisheries sector. The participants, which included representatives of the Coast Guard and the Fisheries Division, gained theoretical and practical knowledge on the use of DSC, VHF radios, as well as global positioning devices. National Project Coordinator of the CC4 Fish Project, Hayden Bilingi, said fishermen face a number of dangers at sea, and ICT can help to save their lives.
To see whether they are in distress, whether they have some sort of emergency, that they're able to communicate to the Coast Guard and to the relevant authorities for their rescue and for their safety. So this workshop basically is one to sensitize our fishermen as to the necessary tools and equipment they need to have on their vessel, and at the same time, how do they communicate back to the relevant authorities should there be an emergency. So this workshop is very interesting, and fishermen are exposed to a plethora of information, which includes how to use a GPS to mark and to send their location. They are also exposed to training as it regards to how to use a VHF radio to communicate well. Sometimes communication can seem very simple, but there are procedural things that need to be followed in order to use a VHF radio well. And fishermen have also had the chance to have a conversation with the Coast Guard and also with NTRC, so that they understand the procedure that it takes, for example, to license their VHF radio and use of it.
A coordinator of the Caribbean ICT Research Program, Kim Malaliu, said while the theoretical and practical training in the use of technology is important, it must be paired with a proper human system for the technology to be effective.
It is international best practice that fishers, when they leave a port, they call in a float plan. There are a variety of ways of doing this. You call it in via radio. You also make a record of it on a whiteboard or maybe on a piece of paper, so that if you go missing, there is a record of the number of people on your vessel, the name of your vessel, the area that you intended to go fishing, the time of departure, the estimated time of arrival. So what we see in the Caribbean ICT Research Program is that information and communications technology is a layer on top of human systems. So first, you as a fishing community, you must decide, is this something that you wish to institute, the recording of float plans? If you decide as a fishing community that this is something that you are willing to commit to, then how do you do so? One of the ways is using communications and information technology as a technological means of supporting your float plans. And so this is the kind of discussions we've had.
Chief Fisheries Officer Jennifer Cruikshank Howard welcomed the training exercise. She said the capacity of the staff of the Fisheries Department will be boosted by the exercise, and as such, they would be able to train other persons in the industry who were unable to participate in the workshop.
Grounds. Having information on where you can fish is very important. Having information when we are expecting storms, having information when we have difficulties at sea and are expected to use our knowledge to assist us to get back to shores and to our families, that is very important. So the fishers, as part of this training, will be getting the practical hands-on information. They will be having theory and practical exercises as part of this training to assist them, to help them while they are at sea in terms of having access to information on storms, climatic changes, the weather conditions, and also for the location of their fishing grounds, and also information so that even though they are out at sea, they can return using the instruments and equipment that they will be being trained to get back to their shows.
2 fishermen and a member of the RSVG Coast Guard who spoke on what they learned from the training exercise.
I think it is very important, and I have met a few fishers who say, well, like a GPS is wasted time, but I like to tell them that, that is not the case. And more of us should get such equipment like a GPS, a radio. We don't know when we'll need them. Because, for example, let's say you're having a problem, you want to get to Coast Guard. One of the things that the Coast Guard is asked, well, what is your location? You can't go and say, the Coast Guard, I'm out here, I'm under the sun or under the moon, because that won't help. And the quicker the Coast Guard get to us, is the better for us.
In 2017, I had to spend at least 2 days. In 2015, I had to spend 2 days at sea, where I didn't have these necessary equipment. I have my equipment, I have my VHF radio, I have my GPS now. I could see I'm fully suited out with my life jacket. So I'm encouraging every fisher in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to please have these necessary equipments to go to sea. Make sure leave information with your relative, your friends, while you're going to sea, so in case of emergency and a disaster, we will be in a proper position to find you.
At them, they may cost, but you have to look at the cost compared to your life. You cannot pay for your life, so these are things that you need to get on board before you leave. And of course, we want the fishermen before they leave shore to let somebody know where they're going. Let them know where they usually fish, and when they come back, let the person know that they have returned. Okay, these are things that we want them to get involved with. Check out with somebody, call Juliet Foxtrot, let them know. Or even the Coast Guard, there is no problem in calling us and letting us know that you're going this area to fish, and when you return, let us know as well, so that if you're missing, we can have an idea where you're at and we can move there quickly instead of have you on the sea stranded for however long.
Butcher Richard Gibson is calling for a meeting with other butchers, livestock farmers and government officials to collectively address the issue of a meat shortage in the country before the peak of the Christmas season. Gibson told SVG-TV News yesterday that while some are saying that there is no shortage, the problem is not new and often becomes an issue as the Christmas season approaches. And he anticipates the situation will get worse as the country is now exporting cattle to neighboring Grenada.
We want to know the truth about the meat industry in St. Vincent. If there are data to prove that there's ample, you can't just say there's ample. We have a lot of data to find out where we go from here. Have a data. How much livestock they have in St. Vincent, beef livestock, how many at meat age, how much young calves are being born, so that we can continue to do the export. I'm not against exporting, but my concern is supply my clientele.
Gibson, who has been in the business for 60 years now, said data should be made readily available to butchers and other stakeholders on the livestock population so that they will be in a better position to deal with any shortage.
Animals. I have about 3 agents who go and buy the animal and kill them and bring them for me. So they traverse all the country last month and they can't get any beef. Nobody got it. Next thing I heard, there's 100 going to Grenada and 400 pigs and sheep and goat. So where are they? If there's an agent here, buy them in advance and store them so that when the boat comes, they just collect them and put them out. We don't know. Are we in the dark about it?
Gibson said over the years he has been pushing for more persons to get involved in livestock rearing and even offered to help train young persons to become professional butchers, but they have never taken up his offer.
Yeah, if they want training, I can train them, but they told me that St. Vincent is not ready for it. So I continue on my own, and it is very successful for the foreign embassies, for the hoteliers who like the special cut.
The upkeep of capital Kingstown is one of the responsibilities of the Kingstown Town Board, and earlier today members of the public got an opportunity to learn more about the board and its work, as well as the many stakeholders who have an interest in the development of the capital. This through an exhibition hosted by the board at the Kingstown Vegetable Market Car Park as part of a week of activities to celebrate its 122nd anniversary under the theme, A Time to Reflect, Reorganize and Re-Energize. Representatives from various entities such as the Public Health Department, the Bureau of Standards, VINLEC, the SVG Tourism Authority and the National Trust all had exhibits at the exhibition highlighting their work. Accountant at the Kingstown Board, Marlon Nanton, said the activity was to give the public an opportunity to interact with the various stakeholders.
These range from the Ministry of Health, Public Health, the Forestry Division, the Bureau of Standards, the Police Force, VINLEC, National Trust, Physical Planning Unit, etc. What we're trying to begin the process of is having a collaboration between different agencies to see how we can improve our efficiency in the town. We hope that this is a start of many more of these exhibitions because, as you know, the Kingstown Board being the manager or the management of Kingstown, we have to have more conversation with different entities so we can improve in the general public.
Highlighting some issues of concern in the capital, Nanton appealed to members of the public to be considerate to each other's needs.
Presently, the Kingstown Board manages the markets. Well, everyone is quite familiar with the Central Market, the Kingstown Central Market. There are some other smaller markets like the Chinatown, Before Shore, the Little Tokyo, George McIntosh, etc. The Kingstown Board is responsible for the Kingstown Cemetery. It's responsible for the newly established car park facility, which is housed at the old Burnt Treasury Building. We are also responsible for several public washrooms in and around Kingstown. The overall development of the town, as you know, Kingstown is shared by many users. Pedestrians, motorists, vendors, business houses, etc. And what we are encouraging the general public to is to be a little more considerate with other users of the town. We have to be mindful that persons have different purposes in the town.
Our news team also spoke with representatives of the Public Health Department, the National Trust and the police, who all believe their work is crucial in the development of the capital and the country on a whole.
Yes, preserving history because a lot of young people, they don't know a lot about our heritage and our culture. So then coming to National Trust, they'll be able to find out information. So we educate the community as well.
And you can say parts of Kingstown are like a heritage site.
Yes, well, part of Kingstown is a heritage site, and we have this book, The City of Arches, and this has a lot of information on all of the buildings that have arches in St. Vincent. And
collaborate with Tongue Board to ensure that the tongue is not only free of vector pests, but that they have wholesome food, because it's a business center, it's the business center, and then you have a lot of food establishment that we monitor and regulate food establishment. So we collaborate with Tongue Board in that regards, in terms of
as a method to go and break in their business and so forth. So with the police play a major role to prevent that from happening. So by our presence, the Kingstown will be in a better position, and the businesses will flourish more.
The Kingstown Town Board is partnering with the Forestry Department to make the capital, Kingstown, a little greener. This through a tree planting exercise at various locations in the capital. Forestry Officer Joel Poyer, who has been championing the cause of the urban forest, welcomed the initiative by the Kingstown Board and called on all Vincentians to help create more green spaces in the capital city.
We also want the general populace of St. Vincent and Grenadine, and mainly those within Kingston, the business places, the homes, and other, to play a part in taking care of the urban environment. We hear you talk about climate change and its impact on us. And if we don't look into addressing that situation, pretty soon, while Kingston might look green, there's hardly any proper green space for us to go and shelter. First time you could have come out at lunchtime and you had area that you could have go and have a seat and enjoy. There's hardly any place in and around Kingston for such now. We are hoping that with the new look on Kingston, that Tongue Board partnering with us and other could create such green spaces where children and their parents and other even visitors and the elderly especially can have some way to shelter from the heat when they are in town.
Pruning and other maintenance work was done to trees in the capital to ensure that they continue to grow and thrive. And representative of the Kingstown Board, Oliver Cupid, is encouraging Vincentians to take care of the trees in the city.
We are here planting and pruning trees. We observe that around these trees that we are pruning, there's a lot of garbage. People tend to use the tree as a garbage dump, which is unhealthy and unsafe for our people. Now I'm urging the vendors and the general public, while you consume whatever you purchase, you must be mindful of the way how you dispose the garbage. Because when you use the tree now, what should be a more relaxing area, in terms of being there relaxing, you are uncomfortable with the scent and whatever fume generated by this garbage. So I'm appealing to the general public to be more mindful of how you dispose of your garbage, and let us all try to maintain some sort of friendliness, some sort of pleasant look among the city.
Children face many challenges worldwide which affect their growth and development, especially those with a disability. And one young Vincentian has used his talent to lobby on behalf of these children in a regional poster competition. This brave young person is Noah Campbell, a 9-year-old grade 5 student of the Trumuka Government School, whose poster got the judges' approval in the 14th Annual Caribbean Child Research Conference in the primary category. The conference is a regional event designed to cover a range of child-related issues and facilitated meaningful participation from the youth. Some 20 students from across the region took part in the essay and poster competition. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Campbell said his poster was designed to bring awareness to the needs of disabled children.
And I am feeling so happy that I won. My poster had a little things. It had 2 drawings. One drawing was talking about a disabled child what was lonely and didn't have any friends to play with. The other drawing was about the same child in school and playing with children. My poster also had 3 jingles. One jingle said, "Prevent empathy for disability." The other one says, "There is always dignity in disability." And the third one says, "Life is better when we are together, disabled or not."
Campbell said his poster also highlighted some solutions to the problems faced by disabled children.
On the left side of the poster, it says, "What can we do?" Number 1 says, "Provide financial help for parents with disabled children." The second one says, "Allow disabled children to go to normal schools." The third one says, "Let disabled children have easy access to facilities and food, provide free health care for them. On the right corners it says, to when we protect this right, children will, then 1. Develop empathy for others. Then it says that they feel that they belong. Then it says they will develop self-esteem, then become independent citizens.
His mother, Joselle Campbell, said she is proud of her son's accomplishment and highlighted the hard work he put into the project.
I do feel proud as a mom. Any mom should, and I have all right to feel proud. No, when Noah said that he wanted to enter, I was like, okay. I know he likes to draw, but I didn't think that he had enough knowledge about what he was doing. So what I did, I had him research the conventions of the rights of the child, and he picked about 5 that he wanted to work on. But the requirements, they only wanted 1 of the conventions. So he had to narrow it down. I helped him to do that. I helped him with his research. I provided stuff for him to read and so on. And I did a lot of questioning for him just to get out the ideas from him. He didn't want a lot of help where the professor was concerned. There were times when I thought that he wasn't really doing it as well as I would have, but he wanted to do it by himself. So I just let him, but I encouraged him and helped him with the research.
3 young entrepreneurs will share their experiences with students of the SVG Community College at a panel discussion hosted tomorrow by the Center for Enterprise Development, Inc., CED, as part of activities to mark Global Entrepreneurship Week. The panel discussion is slated to commence at 1:30 p.m. at the SVG Community College Villa campus. It will be held under the theme, Preparing the Next Generation of Entrepreneurs, which is the theme for the week's activities. The panelists are Jamie Byron of JB's Enterprise, a young growing business that specializes mainly in poultry and bottled coconut water. Crystal Oliver of Olive Art Designs, a small business specializing in handmade bags, purses, and clutches, and Ozal Shallow of Find a Fet, an events promotion business that keeps persons up to date with the latest entertainment happenings in and around SVG. CED said these young entrepreneurs will help students at the college better understand the intricacies of starting and growing a business using their own experiences and examine some of the challenges and look at possible solutions to problems. Global Entrepreneurship Week celebrations will culminate tomorrow with the closing of the Youth Business and Entrepreneurship Seminar UBET for 42 students of the Barrowley Technical Institute, Bartech. The Kingstown Methodist Church continues to provide support to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital through donations of medical and other supplies. The church today handed over a podiatry chair to the hospital, which can be used in the care of persons suffering with foot problems, including diabetes. Superintendent of the Kingstown Chateaubriand Circuit of the Methodist Church, Adolph Davis, said the church is delighted to play a role in assisting with the health care of citizens.
In fact, one of the agencies I think that we have perhaps connected with the most is health. We have done some things in education and so, but we have some of the other churches outside of Kingston have done fetal Dopplers and air conditioner in Calico, several things we have done, and it is in a sense spontaneous. It is not a deliberate plan to connect with the medical services, but as we have seen the need, it is one of the places we have contributed. And right here, in fact, before this would have been the diabetic foot care stuff that we would have contributed, and we believe that it was really important to see how we could do our part in making St. Vincent better by contributing to improving the health and well-being of our nation. So that is what gave rise to this chair. I wouldn't try the fancy names and explanation. I'll leave that to the medical practitioners. And so we're really happy to be able to make this contribution to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital.
Deputy Hospital Administrator Andrew Williams thanked the Methodist Church for its donation and said it will go a long way in boosting the capacity of the hospital service.
I say thank you to the Methodist Church mission headed by Reverend Davis for this worthwhile gesture in donating this podiatry chair to Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. I know you would have been praying for this facility and overall the healthcare delivery in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this is just evidence that not just a spiritual blessing, but a physical blessing to us, and not just to us, to the patient who we try to deliver health service to on a daily basis. As Sister Oliver just explained, this would go a long way in alleviating some of the issues that we have in manpower and the comfort of the patient. And again, I want to say thank you, and I hope your organization will continue donating to us. I heard you mention earlier that you're particularly helping the health service. Just to say that health is universal, and if we are not healthy, we just cannot function properly. And I want to say thank you again, and thank
The foot care specialist Janice Oliver Crease explained exactly how the podiatry chair will assist the medical professionals and their patients.
I want to say when I look at the chair, it's going to really helpful because each individual they have 2 feet. And if we are dealing with 1 foot, then we can lower the bed, we can lower each leg in that way. So we will be walking on the left leg, which we are very grateful. We also have the handle. It can be turned like this, aiding the client to get up on the bed, and as soon as they are comfortable seated, we bring back the handle and they can hold on to it and relax. At the moment, the bed is in a 90-degree angle, and it is manually where we can lower the head by pressing, and it comes right down. Okay? So for it to come back up, it's manually, and we just move the lever or whatever position is comfortable, because we have all size of client coming to us.